Hello friends, today we are going to understand the second part of the chapter, that is economics for the tooling, in which we are going to understand the break-even analysis and the economy order quantity for the selection or replacement of the tools. In the earlier lecture we have understand what is meant by cost, what are the different elements of the cost, and the depreciation and its different methods, so that the total cost we can be calculate and we can understand from the point of view of the economics for the tooling. Now, as in the earlier lecture, in the third method we understand the break-even analysis. Now this break-even analysis for solving the problems for the economics, we should again understand here also. Now in this case, this break-even analysis is an approach where we can find out a quantity which has been called as break-even production quantity. At this quantity, at this juncture, we can say if this much of the quantity the organization or the company sells, so whatever the revenue generated by that organization, so that revenue will provide the company no loss, no profit statement. Now in this case, if we plot the graph of production quantity on the x-axis and the expenditures for the production and the sales revenue generated, both are in amounts, and if we plot these amounts on the y-axis, so here we can understand the OP is the first plot from origin to the point P, from which the PQ line will start, and which is a straight line parallel to the x-axis, which will provide us the fixed cost of the manufacturing. The fixed cost like the cost of plant, cost of machinery, so which is not going to be changed even though the production quantity is going to be changed. So the fixed cost will be represented by line PQ. Now the second line from the origin OA we have plot over here, which will represent the variable cost of production according to the number of components. So whatever the cost of production in the form of variable, that is the labor cost or the other expenditures on the production, so all concerns are being taken into the line OA, and as the production quantity increases, so simultaneously OA is going to be increases. So this is a fixed slope we can achieve for this line OA, which will represent that as the production quantity increases, the variable cost is going to be increased. Considering the two lines, that is PQ and OA, the effect of these two lines we can plot as a total cost with the help of line PR. So the point P will represent the fixed cost, and PR in that case represent the line slope of OA. So this PR will represent us the total cost considering the fixed cost plus variable cost. Now this line PR, now it becomes the total cost of the manufacturing. Now in this graph there is another line which have been started from the origin, and in the dotted form it was represented over here. So this line is OB. Now this OB line will represent the selling revenues. That means after selling, whatever the revenues are going to be generated with the company, considering the total cost and the profit. So the generated revenue, when the generated revenue increases and when that meets with the total cost line, so this point of intersection of the sales revenue and expenditures will provide us the break-even point, where we can say that generated revenue is now becomes equal to the total expenditures we have spent. So at this juncture, at this point, we can say there will be no loss, no profit for the company. Earlier, the company is running in a loss. They are generating the revenues, but they are in the loss. And at this juncture, there will be no loss, no profit. So this intersection point, if you take it towards x-axis, it will represent us a production quantity or the quantity which we require to be sold into the market. So this quantity, this much quantity if we sell into the market, so definitely the company will be there in the no loss, no profit. And thereafter, whatever the selling will be happens with the organization, so that will generate the revenue which will be in the form of profit to the organization. So after the break-even point, we got the profit for the organization. So this has been called as a break-even analysis. Now, how we should calculate it with the help of the formula. So for that purpose, at break-even point, we are knowing there is a no loss and no profit, which means that the fixed cost plus variable cost becomes total selling cost. Now if we put the notation for fixed cost as FC and the variable cost, here the word is total. So variable cost per unit we are knowing. So variable cost per unit multiplied by the quantity, which will be equal to, again, the selling cost per unit we are knowing, and again multiplied by the quantity. So the formula becomes now fixed cost FC plus Q into variable cost per unit is equal to Q into selling cost per unit. Now this Q will represent us the break-even point or break-even quantity, and that can be calculated if we solve this equation. So we can say that Q is equal to the fixed cost divided by the selling cost per unit minus variable cost per unit. So this formula will represent us the break-even point quantity will be equal to fixed cost divided by selling price per unit minus variable cost per unit. Now hereafter, if we consider the profit to get the BEP, if we require to increase the profit so that the BEP will becomes earlier, so how should be the formula? And for that purpose, here we have considered that the fixed cost plus Q into variable cost per unit plus profit. So that should be equal to Q into the selling price per unit. So this way you can say that the Q or quantity we can achieve for purposefully having the profit of suppose X amount. So that quantity we can achieve with this formula, that FC plus profit divided by selling price per unit minus variable cost per unit. So we can understand this with the help of one numerical. Before to that, we should again summarize the one point, because in the numerical you should understand how to calculate the fixed cost and how to calculate the variable cost. And for that purpose, you should again remind the total cost of manufacturing. It will be get splitted into material cost plus labor cost plus other expenses, where the fixed cost is the element in which we can say the direct material cost comes, in which the plant and the machinery cost will be there. The another indirect material cost, direct labor cost, indirect labor cost, direct other expenses and indirect other expenses. So they will have the influence on the variable cost. So this can be understood with the help of the example. Now we'll understand with the help of examples. So the first example, in which it was been given that the fixed factory overheads or the overhead cost is 60,000 rupees. Fixed selling overheads is 12,000 rupees. Now you should understand here the fixed factory overheads or overheads cost, which will include definitely the machineries and the setting costs. Now the fixed selling overheads, this cost will definitely includes whatever the selling efforts required, as we can say we require to provide some commission to the retailers, we require to set some godowns, we require to send our products into the market. So whatever that cost would be there, so that inclusion of all this cost would be there, that is fixed selling overhead cost as 12,000 rupees. So our total cost of production or total cost will be becomes, so the fixed factory overhead plus fixed selling overheads in this case. Then the variable manufacturing cost per unit, it was been given as 12 rupees, and variable selling cost per unit, it is 3 rupees. So these two variable cost we require to sum, so that per unit a total variable cost we require to have with us. Lastly given it is the selling price per unit, that is 24 rupees. And we require to carry out the break-even analysis for this case. Now in this case, the break-even analysis and the break-even point quantity we can calculate with the formula fixed cost divided by selling price per unit minus variable cost per unit. Now in this case, the variable cost is the summation of variable manufacturing cost plus variable selling cost, that is 12 plus 3, that is 15 rupees. So our total variable cost per unit becomes 15 rupees. And total fixed cost is the fixed cost for the factory and fixed cost for the selling. So 60,000 plus 12,000, that is 72,000 becomes your fixed cost, total fixed cost. So break-even point or the quantity, which is equal to 72,000 divided by selling price 24 minus variable cost 15. So it becomes 8,000 units. So when the company sells about 8,000 units with these costing approaches, so at this juncture the company will be in a no loss, no profit. And at that point, whatever the sales value which the company got is 8,000 units multiplied by selling price of per unit 24 rupees. So it will be rupees 1,92,000. So when the company generates this much of the revenue, 1,92,000, after providing this much of the cost on the 8,000 components, so at that juncture the company will be in a no loss, no profits. Now the number of units that must be sold to earn the profit of 90,000. If suppose this additional exercise we required to be carried out, that the company required the profit of 90,000. So how we should proceed so that we can get the quantity where the selling of that quantity happens and the company will earn the profit of rupees 90,000. So this will be provided with the second formula into the earlier slide, that is fixed cost. The quantity is equal to fixed cost plus profit divided by selling price per unit minus variable cost per unit. Now in this case it will becomes the quantity is equal to the quantity, so that the company acquires 90,000 profit is equal to 72,000 plus 90,000 divided by 24 minus 15, that is selling cost minus variable cost. So the quantity becomes 18,000 units. So when the company sells 18,000 units, so after selling these 18,000 units, the company will earn rupees 90,000 as a profit in this case. The second example has been provided where the fixed cost is 1 lakh rupees, variable cost is 100 per unit, and selling price is 200 per unit. For the case 1, it was been enlisted over here, and we require to calculate the BEP for both the cases. That is, second case is also enlisted over here as fixed cost is 1,25,000 rupees, variable cost is 90 rupees, and selling price is same as earlier, that is 200 per unit. Here in addition we require to calculate the number of components need to sell to get the profit of 20,000 rupees. So as like in the earlier example, for the case 1, the BEP becomes 1 lakh divided by 200, that is selling price, minus 100, that means variable cost. So 1000 units will be the BEP, and 1000 into the selling price, that is 200. So that cost will be the revenue generated, total revenue generated by the company in this case. In the second case, the BEP becomes the fixed cost, that is 1,25,000 divided by selling price, that is same as above, that is 200, minus the variable cost which is changed from 100 to 90. So in this case, the BEP comes as 1136.36 units, or we can call them as 1137 also. So at this juncture, at this quantity, the company will be in a no loss, no profit statement. And to earn rupees 20,000 additional profit, so we can have the quantity will be equal to FC plus profit divided by selling price minus VC. So for the second case, we have taken the understanding. So with the second case, if we require to earn the 20,000 rupees as a profit, then in that case by keeping the values of fixed cost 1,25,000 plus profit of 20,000 divided by selling price 200 minus variable cost 90. So the quantity becomes 1318.18 units, approximately 1319 units. So when the company sells this much of the quantity with the selling price of 200 rupees, so the company may earn rupees 20,000 in this case. Now, the next concept that we require to understand in the economics, which has been called as economic batch quantity or economic order quantity, also it was been announced. Economic batch quantity means the quantity which we can produce and which will become the economical one to the organization. That means it will provide the benefit to the company. Now this approach is very important in the mass production industries, because in the mass production industries always the procuring is happening for the raw material. The continuous procuring process or the ordering process is going on. So there will be a procuring cost or the ordering cost which will be required to be put by the organization so that the raw material availability will be there for the manufacturing. But whenever we procure, so we require to hold, we require to store it, and to storing we require the carrying cost, which has again been called as inventory carrying cost. Now these are the two costs whose understanding is important in this concept, because if we procure more components, more raw material, so definitely it will be economical, because per unit the material whatever we procured, if it is in a mass, so definitely its cost will be less. But at the same time, if the quantity is more, we required the proper storing of that quantity, and for that storing we required some kind of a shed, we required to move the material from here and there. And third one is very important, that for procuring, if suppose we have taken the bank loan, so the interest paid by the organization to the bank on the material which is holded for the time being. So considering all these, we require to understand the inventory carrying cost. So the balance of these two costs is very important. That means the company should get benefited by ordering the mass, and at the same time the company should not be in a loss because of the inventory carrying cost. So we require to balance these two costs, and this concept will provide us an economic order quantity according to these two costs. This can be understood with the help of the graphical representation, where we can understand that the graph here which has been provided, which will represent us on the x-axis the order quantity, and on the y-axis the annual cost. Now, as we order more number of pieces in a year, so definitely the purchase cost is going to be decreased, and the ordering cost, in that case, if the order quantity is more, so in that case ordering cost will be less. So this blue line will represent us the ordering cost, which will represent, or it's a negative slope, will represent us that as the quantity increases, the cost will be decreases. At the same time, the holding cost will have a straight line with a slope, positive slope, where we can say that the holding cost are going to be increased as the ordering cost or the ordering quantity will be increases. If more order will be there, if more components will be get procured, purchased, so in that case to store them, the holding cost will be get increased. So these two costs will be there, and if we plot another graph which will provide us a minimum point considering these two costs, order cost and the holding cost, if we provide this graph of the total cost, so in that case the minimum point on this graph will represent, if we take it to the down line, so the x-axis, so it will cross both the lines, that is the crossing of the annual cost for the ordering and the costing of the holding cost. So intersection of these two lines and this point, so this line will represent the economy order quantity. That means this much amount of the quantity if a batch will have, so definitely the company will be benefited by both the side, that is benefited by economy order quantity, that is economy in the purchase also and economy in the inventory also, inventory carrying cost also. So this can be understood with the help of the numerical, and before to that we require to get the formula so that we can calculate the EOQ, that is economy order quantity. And for that purpose, let understand, if N is the annual production of the product, that is N is the quantity which has been annually produced by the organization, and Q is the economy order quantity, these are the considerations. Then the number of batches, so in a year how many number of batches which can be economical, which we can say that, so N is the total production divided by one economic quantity, so total number of economical batches will becomes N by Q. If S is the setting price or the setting cost per batch, that means to set up this batch, to call the batch inside to get it produced, so whatever the setting will be required, and on that whatever the setting cost the company has been put. So if suppose S is the setting cost per batch, so for total batches the cost becomes N by Q into S, because total batches will be N by Q, and this is the setting cost of one batch. Now here we should understand that Q, whatever we have taken here, it is the economy order quantity, and which is a maximum stock in a batch, and minimum stock in a batch will be 0. So the average is required to be calculated, so that average carrying cost or our average annual carrying cost we can put, and for that purpose the average stock in the organization, it becomes Q by 2, minimum and maximum, if these two conditions we have considered. If I is the inventory carrying cost per year, then the total inventory carrying cost becomes the average stock multiplied by I. So this total inventory carrying cost can be calculated by keeping in mind that initially the stock is Q, that is maximum, and in the last zone the stock becomes 0. So while it is becoming 0, so definitely inventory carrying cost will be minimum, and when it is Q, the inventory carrying cost is maximum. So considering the average, so we can have this formula as total inventory carrying cost is equal to the average inventory multiplied by I, and here I is the inventory carrying cost per year. Now for an economy batch, we should understand that when we call it as economical, when it will be beneficial. So when the setting cost per batch, because this is again a cost the company required to put on every batch. So when this cost of setting becomes equal to the total inventory carrying cost per year, so at this point we can say that the batch will be economical. That is, we have purchased a lot many components, but at the same time we are matching them with the help of the setting price. We are matching the costing approach with the inventory carrying cost approach, and in this case the formula becomes N by Q into S, that is setting cost per year, which is equal to total inventory carrying cost per year, that is Q by 2 into I. Solving this equation for Q, we got the economic order quantity equation, that is EOQ, where Q is equal to under root 2NS, 2 into annual production into setting cost divided by I, that is inventory carrying cost. So this formula will be an easy way to calculate the economic order quantity if we are knowing the total production in a year, the setting cost per batch, and the inventory carrying cost per year. So this formula will represent as the EOQ value, which will be understood with the help of the example.